Hello and welcome to a game of Dota 2. We have got a semi-finals here. Rattlesnakes and Orange will fight up to see who makes it to the grand finals and who will be placing third or fourth. In third place decided that will be decided tomorrow. But first, semi-finals day, we've got two of them. Both are today. First Rattlesnake versus Orange. After this, we'll see SheeverGaming versus Zenith. And for these two, well, first of all, wait a second, let me introduce you my co-casters. Kim, welcome to the broadcast.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And I mean, for this game, the favorites will be Orange. And I have to say, I think Rattlesnake come out of the easiest part of the bracket as well. So I think this is their toughest challenge yet. To get here, they beat Nara Stacks, who replaced Gizmo Gaming because Gizmo couldn't be there anymore, so Nara Stacks stepped in. They then defeated Natolic Singapore. To be fair, Natolic did beat Rising Stars, so, you know, not a team to take lightly, but still. Now up against Orange. Well, on the other side, for example, our quarterfinalists were MUFC, Vici, Zenith, and Mistrust. And there's a bit of a difference there, I feel, but we're gonna see if Rattlesnake is prepared for this, because lately I've been feeling that Orange is not really playing at the level that I would expect them to be, and Rattlesnake is actually at the level I expect them to be, and sometimes even doing a bit better, of course, and that's always good. So, what do you think about this matchup?
Yeah, I think it's fairly even. I mean, of course, maybe Orange is maybe a bit of a fan favorite here, and they're at least expected to take this win. But overall, it's good. Well, we've entered the hot phase of the AMD Premier League because there's only super good teams left, and I expect a really good match. Hopefully we'll see 3 games, because I think we can only see them play really well when we actually see a third game and really play it out to the max. So yeah, the draft already, I mean, it seems promising. We've seen an Alchemist, Weaver now picked up by Orange, and Rattlesnake picking up a Chen and a Wisp, so I'm expecting something really great from Rattlesnake.
Me too, and I think both teams are quite happy with the draft that they've done so far. I mean, a Weaver and Alchemist, two very core heroes that we've seen a lot of lately, and Rattlesnake's already shown that they're planning on doing something different. With an IO picked up, of course, Rattlesnake not the first one to pick up IO, and not the first time for them either. With a Chen, though, it kind of indicates that perhaps we're gonna see, well, no Dragonite anymore, but that would have been a good one for potentially going to push fast, because of course IO not only great because of his relocates and his ability to force the enemy team all together, but also because of his overcharge, and pushing just goes a little bit faster with him around. Regen options as well, of course. We've got a Bedrider, OD, and a Shadow Demon and a Visage as the first 4 bans. Nothing really surprising there. Then we've got IO combinations banned out for Orange with the CK and a Dragonite. And Rattlesnake have banned out 2 support-ish heroes that are very gank heavy. So the Enchantress and the Vengeful Spirit. That kind of says that Rattlesnake, they want to have the early game. They're going to aim for that early game, and I don't want anybody there to mess with that.
Yeah, I agree. It really feels like it, and especially, of course, I mean, the Enchantress ban out is also directed because, I mean, they do have the Chen themselves, and Enchantresses can be some sort of counter because you can steal the Chen creeps and stuff. But in general, it really feels like Rattlesnake, they want to have a controlled early game, and now with the Bounty Hunter pickup, it really does feel like they want, okay, we have a good and solid early game, and then during the mid game, the track gold is going to help us out a lot. So, unless they really pick something like an anti-mage, I feel like Rattlesnake is going to be rather mid-game oriented with a really solid early game. Whereas Orange, they have, well, they could do many things right now. I mean, Alchemist, Weaver, they could go mid-game, but like they still have very good potential for the late game. So I'm hoping for a mid-game versus mid-game lineup, so we'll see a lot of action.
Yeah, and I mean, Alchemist and Weaver, as you said, they can be mid-game, but they need to have a solid laning phase for that, and it's Rattlesnake's job, of course, to make sure that that doesn't happen. Though I have to say, Wisp and Chen, 2 support-ish heroes that are pretty strong from level 3 to 6 onwards on the lane. Before that, they're not that powerful. They can't really make things happen unless Chen, of course, gets lucky with the creep. Then anything can happen. But we'll see if that's the case. Bounty Hunter, I really like that, as you said, just mid-game aggression. Orange, though, already picking up the Jakiro. Jakiro being a support that if you try anything, if you relocate in, there's going to be an ice path. And that gives Orange time to initiate or to come help a teammate, etc. So, still a pretty good hero for making sure that the enemy disengages. and we're gonna see how effective that will be. Rattlesnakes, they still need a mid hero, they still need a carry, assuming that Bounty Hunter will be on the off lane. And we're gonna see what they're gonna pick up. They're ticking into their bonus time so far. So thinking about this quite hard, of course. After this, there's gonna be a ban. So pick up now what you think Orange might ban out later.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on saying that Chen and Wisp, they rather shine when they have a little bit of levels, like level 6 on both of them is really great. And this is actually why I think Orange should probably go aggressive against them, because... Oh, there's a tiny pickup. Oh, that's an interesting combo. Yeah, I like it as well.
I mean, a Tiny Wisp combination, we've seen that more often. He is kind of like the forgotten carry, I feel like. With the Tiny, though, he's really scary, and if he gets a good laning phase, it's very tough to not get a really good laning, or not get a good laning phase with Tiny IO, because Tiny is pretty tough to take down. On top of that, there's the escape that IO offers, which is just extra movement speed, it's always great. And of course, they can counter-initiate real easy. The only downside is that Tiny is pretty mana intensive, but if he does have mana, he tosses IO in, there's gonna be a tether stun. Spirit's helping out Avalanche, and that's a dead Weaver or Jakiro. Alchemist maybe not just so, but still pretty good for Rattlesnakes. I like it a lot. Darkseer for Orange now, so that will be their off lane, I'm assuming, and that leaves Alchemist probably to go into the mid lane. Although Darkseer, of course, in theory could be also going into the jungle. It's really up for grabs so far, and pretty open draft, even though, as said, expecting Alchemist possibly mid, as Dazzle is the last ban for Rattlesnakes. Dazzle is the counter to the Tiny Avalanche combination, because you can just Shallow Grave and you should be able to walk away before Tiny gets his next hit in.
Yeah, it really is. It's really interesting ban out. You usually don't see a Dazzle banned out, but it does make sense in this scenario. And yeah, this Tiny pickup, I really like it a lot. He has a lot of push potential himself. If he picks up an Aghanim as a first item, his damage output towards towers or buildings in general is going to be huge. And he can do that because he gets the attack speed from the Wisp, so it feels like Rattlesnake, they're going to play a really like Wisp typical lineup, but with Tiny this time around, and I like it a lot because if they do go for those Wisp relocate ganks, they do have track to assist them, and it's going to be really rewarding if they do that. But it kind of also depends on what mid hero they pick up now, because I feel like they need another gank intensive hero like Queen of Pain or Puck, because they really need more damage than that to actually be effective, because they can only rely on the Wisp relocates, because that would be a bit ballsy, and they go for the Brewmaster.
Well, I like this lineup, but I mean, I think every single one of these heroes, before they get a couple of levels, they're not really doing anything just yet. We know that Brewmaster, of course, when he gets level 6, he's great. Before that, he might not die, but he can struggle a little bit in terms of last hits. I think it's very easy for Orange to just either pick up a mid hero that they think will be stronger in the mid game than Rattlesnake, that they will need in the mid game, and can at least stay alive against the Brewmaster. Or actually, they already have a mid laner Alchemist most likely, but yeah, everything is still kind of up for grabs. I wouldn't be surprised to see an Enigma even, because you can just go into the jungle, you've got this massive teamfight potential, and because of Rattlesnake's high ganking potential, you at least want to be outshining Rattlesnakes in teamfights, and Enigma would fit into that.
Yeah, he definitely would fit, but I would love to see a Rubik now on Orange side, because there's so many great spells to steal. Track is going to be really important to steal, and the Brewmaster ultimate is also a really good spell to steal. And in general, it's not that difficult to steal Brewmaster ultimate, because once it runs out, of course he ideally wants to run away and stuff, but in messy team fights it can always happen. And if you do get that Brewmaster ultimate, it's going to be really big. So I think a Rubik would really fit well. He synergizes well with the Jakiro. They could technically go, and they do pick him up.
They do pick him up. Yeah, I like it a lot for the same reasons you're saying it. I mean, that could be the big turnaround in teamfight that maybe Enigma could have gotten as well, but Rubik just a little bit more strong also in the early games, meaning that Orange will at least, hopefully for them, not lose their lanes before level 6, so that they are at least able to fight back when Rattlesnake makes their move, because that's what it's going to come down to. When is Rattlesnake going to make their move? In terms of late game, they do have some potential, but up against a Weaver and an Alchemist, on top of that having a Darkseer that can copy Tiny just if he walks through that Darkseer wall. I'm gonna put Orange in favor of the very late game. So Rattlesnake, they have got kind of this time limit on them.
Well, actually, I think it's fairly even because, I mean, the only threat I would see for Rattlesnake is actually the Darkseer wall. I think Tiny does really well against an Alchemist because Alchemist, in the late game, he's going to get stunned by that craggy exterior quite a bit.
True.
And Weaver also has a really short range, so he does have to get in range, and I think he will be in range sometime around, so I guess it's a bit of luck based, but I think Rattlesnake can manage them well. But in general, of course, Orange, they have more cores, more really stronger cores. So I agree with you that Orange, they look like to have the advantage in the late game.
Yeah, at least we know that Rattlesnake is not completely out just yet. I'm just curious to see how they're gonna make it work. We've got Icy. He's playing the Bounty Hunter this game. He already got himself some boots. He got pulled some regen by Kabu. And for now he's moving top, but I'm expecting him to move towards the bottom lane. It really depends on if they're expecting the aggressive trialing from Orange or not, which it could be possible. I mean, a Rubik and Jakiro, definitely possible for aggressive trialing. We've got Sagam playing the Io. It will be Kabu on the Chen. And that was Icy. It will be Lanham playing the Tiny Force team, and then we only got one left. Luo will play the Brewmaster in the mid lane. And that's all on the Dire side. Of course, once again, Rattlesnakes, semi-finals, AMD Premier League, and Orange is on the Radiant side, and I'll leave them to you.
Yeah, on the Radiant side, it is Net playing the Darkseer, most likely heading towards this top lane. In the middle lane, it's actually Ohio playing the Weaver. And on the safe trial lane, we have Mushi playing actually the support Jakiro, which I find really interesting because usually he's like one of the carry players or even mid-hero players.
Yeah.
KYXY on the Alchemist, and on the support Rubik it is X. Or Extinct.
Yeah, I wonder, like, I think they scouted it out. I wonder if they're gonna place just the center because they think he's around there somewhere, but no. Not gonna
I think
try.
I think they were expecting him to pull the creep wave with himself, so they were just guarding this one. And of course Icy was smart enough not to do it.
Yeah, because of course, I mean, there's a telekinesis, an ice path, unstable concoction, because KYXY hasn't inspected anything just yet, so it could have been there, and that's gonna be your first blood if you are caught out by that. So, smart choice. He still is hanging around in the jungle. The downside about a Bounty Hunter is that it's not really easy for him to try and get any other sources for farm, so he can't really go into the jungle. Ice path will be there. He's just trying to harass Icy a little bit. I don't think he can kill him. Pings go off, but it's gonna be of no use. And that will help out, of course, the bottom lane will help Icy get some experience. In the meantime, Luo is having a very tough time mid. Ohio might actually try to go for this. There goes the armor reduction. Is he gonna dive? This is the question. Nope, he is not. But that's already a start of Luo having a very tough time here in the mid lane. He actually has to... oh, he has a bottle coming for him. Well, that's very nice.
Yeah, this lineup definitely goes in the favor of the Weaver. I mean, Ohio, it's just natural for him to be in advantage. I mean, he's ranged after all. He can, I feel like, harass a lot better. And Luo just has to get in range, and he has to use Clap to actually get lasted. So it's going to be rather difficult. I like that Ohio already skilled Swarm on level 2. I mean, in general, I'm more of a Gemini attack fan, but if he wanted to dive that tower, having that extra Swarm minus armor, and of course the ability to just tank through that,
yeah,
it's quite great. It's quite good.
I really like it too. I mean, ability to tank the tower, extra minus armor, well, minus armor in general, and the vision. It's just yeah, it's superior if you want to be more aggressive. I fully agree. And in terms of more aggressive, I indeed mean diving towers in this case. There is a free farming Tiny on top though, and there's also a free pulling and stacking IO in the jungle for Rattlesnake. Definitely something that Orange should be watching out for, but so far they're doing really great. They're ahead on all lanes. Well, I say all lanes, I mean all cores, because the Darkseer is farming in that jungle and is of course doing pretty well, because he is the Darkseer. But yeah, it looks like they are okay with having a free farming Tiny on the other side. Confident that they will be able to fight back when the time comes.
Yeah, but I think this forces Orange to go really mid-game oriented. If they do let Tiny farm this much, I think they have to go something like a Shadow Blade immediately on this Alchemist. I think once Alchemist hits his stride with his Shadow Blade, they have to go and try to force a gank on this Tiny, because in general you do not want to give Tiny this much space. especially since they're giving away so much XP to the bounty hunter as well. I mean, he has been disrupting the farms the whole time, and now he's getting a few creep waves on his own tower. Then again, he's a bit afraid of actually going into that. So, but yeah, as you mentioned, the trades are kind of equal at this point. Both sides are getting farmed up on almost every hero except for bounty hunter, of course, but he's getting at least XP out of it.
Yeah, not that much though. I mean, he is still level 3. His tower might be dead soon, as it looks like Orange is not having any mercy for the creep waves and is just pushing them out. So, looking to see if they can take down a tower here. And maybe they would be able to get a first blood as well if Icy tries to stick around for too long. I mean, there's still sentry wards up on the Rubik. Oh, actually, Rubik is pulling. But it's only a 1 camp, so they're looking to push again.
That's true. And Icy has to be really careful because with their composition on this trial lane, they can definitely dive him and get an easy kill. But then again, Rubik and Jakiro, or at least, actually they're both double 3. I expected Jakiro to do a bit poorly on that one, but yeah. Of course, they do have enough burst damage, but they have to stick around for that and stay as 3, because Icy currently is just disrupting Ax's pull. And Ax is completely by himself, so he can't really harass Icy as much as he would like to. In top lane, Rattlesnake's doing the same, pushing in, and I'm not sure if Dark... Oh, actually...
they're gonna try to go for this. They're gonna try to single out the IO. There's a tether, should be able to get away with the Iron Shell, doing quite a bit of damage there, and that's gonna be the first blood. Avalanche Toss comes in, and they get some revenge by taking down the Darkseer. Still the first blood going the way of Orange, but at least getting something in return for it. They do have to give up the tower push, I think, though. Yeah.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, that was... I'm not sure if this was a good trade for Orange. I mean, they did lose their Darkseer, which is basically one of their cores, only training for a Wisp, which they didn't even get the kill for. It was a Radiant kill. So, that wasn't too bad for Rattlesnake. And they can still push this tower, and they do force out the rotation coming from Jakiro and Darkseer. So this Bounty Hunter should technically have a better time on this bottom lane. He goes back for a bit of mana and health regen, but once he TP's down again, he should have a better time, because he's only up against the Rubik now. And I feel if he plays careful and cautious enough, he shouldn't get killed at all and should get actually quite a decent amount of gold or XP in this jungle.
This middle lane is pretty tough for Ohio at the moment. He's getting harassed so much by Luo. Wasn't able to get his clap going, and might be able to find a kill here as well, since Io is around here. In terms of last hits, Luo is doing really well. He's 30 to 3. And Io is sitting on 30 to 5, so it's still even in terms of that. But if you look at their HP bars, there's definitely some sort of difference.
Yeah, I really didn't expect to see this, but I guess with Luo, of course, bottle crowing the whole time, or at least having a bottle in general, and Weaver not really going for bottles at all. Actually, he does have a bottle. Wow. Huh.
He does.
Is this really his?
Yeah, here comes the nice path. They want to try and bait out the ulti, perhaps. There's a clip already. Can't do his ulti. He does still have 13 stick charges, and it seems to be enough. Doesn't look like Orange wants to continue chasing this.
Yeah, also great warding coming out. So, Luo, he did see the rotation coming out because he has this high ground ward, so he can basically see Jakiro coming. I really like this ward in general because they dropped it just before the 6-minute mark hit, so they have perfect vision over this mid lane. And oh, Ohio, he doesn't have his ultimate, he has to be careful.
Yeah, and there's a sentry there. I'm not sure if he realizes until now, and that should be Luo. What you doing, Luo? Thank you. He could have tried to use a split for that, but of course he would have rotated to somewhere where there wouldn't be the sentry ward. Meantime, we look at our TP bottom. They want to try and take something down here. Luo gets a stun in his face. That's gonna be Luo already dead. Can he split? Yes, he can! Looking for a kill. Looking for KYX Spy. There goes the boulder. It hits on KYX Spy, and it should be turning into a kill there as well. No tractors yet, unfortunately, as Icy is not yet level 6. Now he is, though, and maybe they can make Rubik into a track kill. There comes a track. His TP was interrupted by the Brewmaster. 2 kills going the way of Rattlesnake, after Rattlesnake already took down a Darkseer, of course, on the top lane with an Avalanche Toss from Lanham earlier. And they might be able to do it again. Here comes an Ice Path on the side, though. Lanham in some trouble. Ohio trying to help out. Nice vacuum, and Lanham will go down. Sagan will die as well. And that's going to be a double kill going the way of the Weaver. Definitely not something that you want to be happening, but at least Orange, they make a trade out of it overall.
Yeah, and Rattlesnake, Rattlesnake, they did get a track kill, and they did get a kill on the primary carry, but overall, I think quite a good trade, or at least an acceptable trade for Orange, because they still get a tower deny. But that rotation coming out from Brewmaster to the bottom lane, and that Hand of God, of course, they really didn't see it coming, and also great micro by him. Axe, he thought he was being smart, but just immediately TPing once he saw the Brewmaster surviving. But Brewmaster, of course, smartly used his Tornado to actually pull him up in the air and got a kill. And it was a Trackle, as I mentioned. So yeah, Trackle is something that that Orange has to look out for now, because Bounty is going to gank now.
Yep, I mean, you can't trade evenly. On top of that, we've got a double damage rune from Ohio, and I think he wants to dive this. He might actually try to go for the courier. No, Luo is his target. Luo is the prey, and he gets it as well. No surprise there. Shikushi away. And that's going to keep Ohio safe. He even has the time lapse if he wants to use it, but it wouldn't bring him back to full health for him.
Oh, he has to be careful though.
Yep, he does. Here comes a shuriken toss, and the track. Is it enough? There's a time lapse still. Is there one on the Janata? It's actually only level 1 Janata. Icy! You better be careful now. I'm thinking he's dead. One more hit. There we go. That's a dominating Ohio. Test of Faith comes in. One more hit needed, but nobody gets in range anymore. Shikushi away. And that's gonna be one safe Weaver. And a happy one as well, because he got 2 kills.
Yeah, that was a bit greedy by the Bounty Hunter. Kind of overextending and overestimating himself. So great play by Ohio.
Yep.
Knowing that he can go that far, and of course with the time lapse he saved up.
And in the meantime, KYXY, he's skilled into his Grieful Screed, so we'll be getting ahead in that worth. And we already see him on top of there, of course, followed by his teammate Ohio. Tiny and Brewmaster. Is it time yet to rotate around? We still have Luo building for Blink Dagger, so he will have to wait for a little while longer. But Lanham, he's level 8. The Iowa is level 6. And this should be the time where you try to find pickoffs. You have Icy to scout out the area, trying to get yourself a good target that you can safely take with that relocate. And there, we're gonna see it if they can find it.
Yeah, but also a great word on the bottom lane from the Radiant. They saw this complete rotation coming out from Wisp now, and I think Rattlesnake really wanted to do what you just said and go for ganks now that Wisp hits level 6. But yeah, the wording is really nice, and I think Orange might prepare for this and counter initiate. Then again, they're kind of backing off.
They're backing off. We've got Luo, who's got himself a split. If they want to try and take this with the relocate, they could have the option, but then again, they need to have sentries or dust or anything. And they only have 1 sentry, and that might not be enough, but they're still going to try just by the normal walking route this time, though. We'll be coming in from behind.
They're looking in the jungle.
Yeah, they have to be very careful, because there's people coming in mid as well. Sentry ward already goes down, just in case Bounty Hunter shows himself. There comes a tether. Lanham goes in. Avalanche hits. There's a telekinesis, though, and the Ice Path up on 2. In comes the Unstable Concoction. Hand of God keeps Sagam up. Should be able to make it out. Nobody dying just yet. We do have Rubik very low, but he makes it back into his base. Io still with the bug, and the bug actually is hurting him. It kills him. Ownage as Ohio gets himself a mega kill without even being around. That bug. Nobody helping him to get rid of it, but that's a level 4 swarm for you. Oh, blink in, clap. That's a blink for Luo. You already used his split just now, though. Mushi gets tracked up. Might go down, but in the end, it's Tiny that is the one to fall. Icy running for his life. Should be able to do that. Sentry ward goes down at the wrong place. As long as Icy keeps his head down, he is going to be fine. He can even TP himself out. That's a fight lost by Rattlesnake, and these are the kind of fights that they should take.
Yeah, I totally agree. And they use the Toss Avalanche combo or Avalanche Toss combo on 2 supports now, I think. Maybe they didn't do it right because neither of these supports actually went down. Rubik and Jakiro both escaped with like 10 or 100 HP left. 10 to 50 maybe even. And yeah, they committed a lot. They even used the Brewmaster ultimate, but they didn't even get 1 kill out of it. So Orange defending really well, and these are the kind of fights that Orange has to win, and they do, so they're going to get ahead, and yeah, XY, he's already going towards that Battle Fury, so he's going to be a complete farm monster.
Yeah, if he wasn't already, he only needs that 1 level extra in his Grieful Screed. And he's gonna be the happiest alchemist alive. I don't think that Rattlesnake can really try to take him down with the gank, as you said. The combination that they have doesn't even kill supports at the moment. So they might want to wait until that happens. As we do have them trying to take down the tower. I mean, they didn't even get extra levels from those fights. We still have level 6 and level 8 up on Lanham, and if they're continuing to get behind here, then there's gonna be big trouble for them. Icy telekinesis gets found out. Ice Bat there as well, and he drops. There we go. Onage gets called once again. Jakira with a kill. Mushi, even on supports, he looks for the kills and finds them.
Yeah, Battle Fury now completed on KYXY, so prepare to see his net worth just rising. I did mention in the beginning that I would like to see, or that I thought he would have to go Shadowblade, but the way these fights have turned out, he really doesn't have to, because they can't really kill him, and they in return actually got a kills, or got a few kills. So Rattlesnake is now the one that have to make a lot of movement happen, and Luo, he might even no, he's not going to die from this, but
Yeah.
they have to be careful now.
Still have 15 stick charges as well. Of course, that's basically his reserve for trying to get in, at least his clap blink combination off, because he doesn't have mana boots. So he needs that
wow,
extra.
the smart ward. They saw Lanham standing just there.
Dire's
go
bottom
off.
tower is under attack.
Yeah, and that's gonna be an escape for Orange. They don't want to take that without fully knowing what they're gonna be up against.
Yeah, and Rattlesnake, they do have all their necessary spells up, so maybe not play that aggressive and fight near tier 2 tower, where if someone wants to buy back, he can basically TP back in.
Dire's bottom tower
So
is
just
under
play it
attack.
safe, and they do not have to make a move. At this point, it's really Rattlesnake that have to make the move first,
Yeah.
because they have this really heavy mid-game oriented lineup, and they have to play it out now, because in the late game against the farm Battle Fury Alchemist, it's going to be really tough.
Yeah, I fully agree. And the question is, how can they make ganks happen? Because as you can see, Orange, they're sitting together by a lot. I mean, okay, Net is not by himself, right? Or Net is by himself right now, but he's got a mechanism. He's a Darkseer. He can get himself away with the Surge, and it's not an easy target to gank, especially since you can of course see where the relocate's gonna happen. So should be able to get away in time. Actually, he is rotating mid as well. Orange just looking to take down the tier 1 tower here, taking away some strategical advantage from Rattlesnakes. As I mean, tracks go off and all that, but Rattlesnake, they can't really go in on this. There's really, and actually track's stolen now, so the track that you have to get yourself that mid game is going to be used by Orange to make them feel more powerful.
Yeah, and this is a huge, this is something really huge that Icy shouldn't let happen. Letting himself, well, let Rubik steal the track is something really, really big, and yeah, you can already see that Rattlesnake, they moved away as soon as they saw that, okay, the track was stolen. Let's maybe not take this fight, but at the same time also Orange went away. I'm not sure why. I think they can commit to this tower, because they do have a lot of farm up on their heroes, and I think they can take this tower down, but then again, maybe they're just playing it safe and go like, okay, let's just farm up on our heroes. And but in general, yeah, you pointed something out, which I really like from Orange. They are moving around with at least 2 heroes at the same time. Okay, Rubik's now by himself, but in general, they're just sticking around, and this is something to counter the Wisp. I mean, if you stick around with like 2 or 3 heroes, these Wisp relocate ganks can easily be turned around. So Orange playing really well so far.
Yep, I fully agree. And it's up to Rattlesnake to try and disrupt that playstyle. I mean, having some more wards up might help to give them some more vision. I know that they're not looking for a 5-on-5 engagement, because that's not going to be going their way. And actually, telekinesis there up on Lua. The tower already drops. KYXY charging up a stun, landing it on Kabu. Just harassment for now, though. Orange backs off. I mean, like we said, they don't need to fight. If they make sure that they don't die in this phase, they're doing good, and they're getting ahead that way, because they've got this better late game, especially if they know that a Rattlesnake is not going to get that much farm, because they rely more on hero kills than maybe on direct farm with their track kills. I mean, that's what they're built towards. As Luo takes, again, a lot of harassment here from Ohio. Ohio feeling ballsy. He's building towards a BKB, by the way.
Icy in the jungle, yeah.
Oh, Icy was in the jungle. Icy dead, and Luo gets sent home.
He was playing, I'm not I think he didn't really notice that Rubik stole track, because he was ballsy enough to come out of his invis and just track the Rubik.
Rubik tucked him right back.
Yeah, exactly. So he just basically gave away a free track kill. It was a weird decision, but yeah. And this is really something that goes into Orange's favor. With the bounty hunter down, Rattlesnake is unlikely to actually go out for her hunting kills. So of course he's not dead for long, but it's at least a window of time where they can feel a bit safer. And KYXY, he's still farming happily in the on the bottom lane. He's sitting on 1.4k gold, 1.5k gold. And Ohio is also sitting really aggressively in the mid lane. They can't even punish this.
Yeah, the downside is that they don't know, at least Rattlesnake doesn't know where the rest is. Soon they will, but yeah, now they will with everybody showing himself top. We've got some mana boots picked up, by the way, on the two supports of Orange. Both Rubik and Jakiro having that, so looking good. And I mean, team fight wise, Orange definitely has favor right now. I mean, yeah, you've got that Brewmaster split, which is level 2, so that's a big deal. But at the same time, Orange will probably not die from all the damage that gets thrown out there.
Yeah, and I like this pickup by the Weaver now. Ohio knowing that there's a lot of magical damage output by Rattlesnake, so what do? He goes BKB. And if he does pop his BKB in the team fight, there's basically nothing on Rattlesnake's side that can actually touch him. I mean, of course, Tiny has a lot of damage, but he lacks the attack speed for that so far. Oh, mid lane.
Yeah, they blink in. There goes a stun though. Luo already stunned up. They might be able to take the tier 1. That would be already nice, but the fortification comes out and it looks like Orange wants to try and fight this. We still have to split up from Luo. Something gets stolen. It is the Drunken Brawler. Tower goes down and Rattlesnake, they run the hell away from this place. I don't blame them. And actually, they're gonna relocate top. They're gonna go for Ohio, but he turns on his BKB, and he's actually gonna go for Lanham, or for Sagam first. Should be able to get this as well. That's one dead. Can he take down another one? This is his first 10-second BKB. Still has the time lapse, used it, goes back in, looking for the Rockman, and I think he's gonna get them. That's a double kill. They just relocated into Ohio, and he took them both down.
Yeah, that was a huge mistake by Rattlesnake. They should have seen this BKB, and Ohio might actually go for more here.
Yep. Here comes an ice path. Nicely done. In comes a vacuum into the unstable concoction. Centaur helps out a little bit, but down goes the Chen, down goes Luo. And, I mean, that's gonna be a triple kill for Ohio, and, I mean, 4 people dead because of 1 relocate. This was the first relocate used in the game.
Yeah, and it turned out horribly for Rattlesnake, and yeah. Also, the lack of vision, they just didn't see any support rotating in, and this is why they just lost another 2 heroes. But they should have seen the BKB on Ohio. Usually, you want to check the items on a Weaver, on a mid Weaver who had nothing before that, and he bought the BKB really raw. I think he only had the Ogre Club, so they should have checked the items really.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Bounty Hunter showed himself. To be fair.
Yeah.
Saw him hanging around there, but I kind of thought he was just moving past, but nope. Showed himself.
Oh,
Ohio might be in some trouble. Here comes the dust again. Can it take him down this time? He turns on his BKB. 1 more hit needed. It might be enough if they can just get 1 more hit in. He should be visible again. There we go. That is what Rattlesnake needed. That's a godlike streak for Lanham. That's a lot of gold. He has to be careful though. He's got his Yasha now complete, but he doesn't want to die again. Telekinesis comes in from X. Looking for a kill, and it looks like they might be able to do it. Relocate coming in there from Sagam, and that's going to be keeping them safe. Question is, will they go back with the 2 of them, or will they try to just give up the IO? But it looks like they'll just come back with the 2 of them. Maybe they can find some kills still. Ice Path comes in though, and that stops everybody in its tracks. Should stop everybody. And Luo though, he has a blink, he has a clap, he has a split.
Yeah.
Rubik coming back in with the Shadow Walk.
That was really unfortunate for Ohio. I mean, using his BKB and still not surviving, I mean, that kind of hurts him, but it's not too bad because he's gotten a lot of gold before that, but still, it's not something you want to happen. And it was really unfortunate that a creep wave came in because the last creep actually blocked him and Tiny came in range, but I think they would have gotten him regardless of that, so... In general, still Weaver doing quite well for himself, sitting on the 2nd place in terms of net worth. Looking at the gold graph in general, of course, Orange is ahead. They do have, I think, 1 more tower. Yeah, they have 1 more tier 1 tower taken down, and in general, they're doing better in terms of experience and gold.
Yeah, very much better. We do have, though, the Aghanim's being built up by the Tiny, though. I mean, it's just 2700 gold away. Still takes some time, but it's at least getting there. He already has the Yasha. We have got KYXY looking for a kill, by the way, or at least he's gonna stun himself if he's not careful. But stuns Luo instead and walks back towards the tower, as he has done. In the meantime, Chen, trouble, telekinesis will be there. Down goes Kabu, I think, or tries to TP himself out. Won't be able to do that. Weaver with the last hit. Ohio with the kill. And they look for the Chen creeps. Will be able to find both of them. Should be able to find both of them. Yep. It's gonna be Kabu being forced to pick up new ones.
Yeah, and X now stole Holy Persuasion, and he's actually a Chen player himself, so basically he can build his own army now.
Oh, wow. Clap. Can they stop him from taking that icy? No, they can't. The split is still there, though, but what's one Brewmaster gonna do with this? Oh, there comes the cavalry. That's gonna be KYX by dead. Relocate used to success, though, of course, the... Whoa, it's not over yet. BKB turned on by Ohio, looking for Sagam. Sagam will be home in time. Looking for the next target. It's gonna be one of the Brewmasters. It's gonna be taking on the real one now. In comes the Centaur stun, and that will be a kill going the way of Orange. So now they took down one Alchemist on the cost of 2 of their core players. Probably not really worth it, though. Stopping KYX by is nice. And it was a track kill.
Was it actually? Because I checked him and he didn't have the track buff on him, so...
Then it might not be a track kill. And then it would be even worse because they lose 2 heroes and a tower.
Yeah, and they might have even lost the Tiny and the Wisp because Wisp was really close to dying, and without the Wisp there's no relocate, and I think they could have brought them all down, but was really close. Could have turned out a lot worse for Rattlesnake, but they kind of did need to do something against this Alchemist, but I mean, they just saw that Alchemist is really hard to bring down, and this is really grim for Rattlesnake because it's not going to get better anytime soon. He's going to get his BKB fairly soon as well. He only needs the recipe now, and once he has this BKB, Rattlesnake, they can basically not kill him either. He's really fairly tanky with his ultimate on.
Yep, and then you have to wait until the BKB charges go down, but to make sure that the BKB charges go down, you have to fight. And that's something that they can't really afford to do right now, because a couple more lost fights and they'll be out of towers, and there will be nothing left to trade, and at some point they will want to trade, because they can't take stuff with a big ass team fight, because Orange is getting ahead in that point. So trading is basically their only option, trying to take tier 2s for tier 3s, etc. But yeah, with their tier 2 now also under siege, and them still not getting anything in return for this by the looks of it, Rattlesnake are gonna get further and further behind, and I mean, they're not out of this just yet. They do have an Aghanims in 110 golds for Lanham, and that might be helping them a little bit, but something needs to change soon.
Yeah, definitely, and in general, when you're playing it with a Wisp combo, be it CK Wisp or Tiny Wisp or Sven Wisp even, you really want map control, and they're losing map control by the minute. I mean, look at the aggressive warding coming out from Orange. I would even say it's a bit overly aggressive because they have really three deep observer wards and 2 very deep sentry wards. So they really want to have every vision they can have. And whereas on Rattlesnake's side, they only have 1 ward, and that's, I don't know, at this point doesn't really give away much information. I don't think so.
It's more defensive.
Yeah, it really feels like it's a bit more defensive, and they really wanted to place some ward that doesn't get dewarded as easily. So Rattlesnake really in a defensive position, somewhere you don't want to be as a Tiny Wisp combo. I think they at this point have to rely on Orange to make a bit of positional mistakes, and have to rely on Orange engaging too early. But
perhaps they can take a Roshan and then with their Aegis do something spectacular. But first they have to get there, and apparently Orange is aware that they might need to get there. They're hanging around there. We do have the BKB up on the Alchemist with a double damage rune, so he's looking to fight. But from the side, it comes a blink, it comes a clap. BKBs get turned on. Avalanche toss still will be there. Will there be a split? No split just yet. They want to try to take that low before he splits, but he splits anyways. And he is looking for a pickup, looking for Mushi, because that is like the easiest target there. If he doesn't get that one, then what is he gonna get? Shuriken Toss comes in, Mushi's still alive. Finally, they take him down, but it took a lot of effort, and the Brewmaster ulti almost dead already. KYX fight comes in with a stun. That's Sagam dead. Looking for the next target. Nice Avalanche, Lanham! Just bash the crap out of those two. That's gonna be Alchemist and Darkseer for a double kill for Lanham. That was quite spectacular.
And this is the mistake they had. They needed to hope for, and they might even go for another one.
Yeah, time lapse will be there. Ohio trying to run, won't be stunned again though. Should be safe. They're actually trying to chase him down. Avalanche comes in. Will there be a toss? They could toss something. Lua will have his blink up again, but they're not gonna try. But that was a brilliant fight from Rattlesnakes.
Yeah, that was a really good fight. They just outsmarted Orange. They forced the BKBs, and they immediately just ran away. And Orange, they just got kited so easily because they couldn't keep up. I mean, Tiny is really, really fast, and Wisp, of course, can really can tether himself to him. So they baited out 3 BKBs from Darkseer, from Weaver, and from Alchemist. They just ran away, waited out until the BKBs came down. They basically baited with the Brewmaster ultimates because this Brewmaster ultimate, to be fair, didn't really accomplish too much aside from getting the attention. And yeah, Rattlesnake just pounded on them. That was really smart.
Yeah, I liked it, and this is Rattlesnake showing that they are not out of this game just yet. And look at that, with that one fight, Lanham is actually sitting on second highest in net worth. So he's keeping up with the Alchemist. He's building towards his Manta style almost as a complete. It's a shame they don't take any, you know, extra control out of that fight, like no Roshan, no towers. And they might actually lose a Roshan right now, as Orange is already sitting in the Roche pit. And we might be seeing a fight over this though. Nah, they're not aware that this is happening. They don't have wards here. This is the downside of not having that map control. And Aegis will go to KYXY. Aghanim's ready up on the Brewmaster, by the way. That's gonna be nice as well. They do take a tier 2 in return for that Roshan, which is great, but might open them up for some split push potential. They actually force out some TP, so that's always good.
Yeah, I think at this point this is the trade they need to make, and something they're really comfortable making, because Rattlesnake, they blew everything in the last fight and they couldn't commit to this Roshan fight without the Brewmaster ultimate. It's just possible. And actually they might go on KYXY here. He stunned himself. Do they have vision over him?
Nope.
No, there's no sentry down.
They don't know that he is there. He's gonna walk into a sentry soon though. There goes the track. They now know where he is. The club comes in. He's trying to run. Is surged. Will turn around for a stun up on Luo. Relocate comes in as well. Looking for a pickup. Looking for the rest. Nope, nobody there anymore. And they don't want to run in head first to 5 people of Orange. There's still sentries around here for Rattlesnake, so they know what's coming in. Avalanche will try to back them off. They will escape or run away from this one at least. But the relocate used for that, that's going to be giving Orange a bit of a chance to maybe go in, knowing that whatever they see will be the heroes that they face. No surprises coming from the back with the relocate.
Yeah, it looks like Orange is trying to force high ground or force a tier 3 tower fight now. They're all grouped up in the middle, and I think they can actually still win team fights quite decently if they do get a good vacuum ice path combo off. And of course, I'm still waiting for the first wall from the Dogs here. I'm not sure if I've actually seen one in this game yet.
Nope, we have not.
They're looking to backstab Tiny in the Wisp.
Yeah, here comes an ice path though. It's up on everybody with the ice path there as well. That is Sagam already down. Exo in a lot of trouble from the Brewmaster ult. BKB is getting chased around again. They do take down the Rubik, so 1-for-1 trade so far. And now they can go in again. Can go in on KYXY. Tiny though, backing off towards his base. Taking quite a bit of damage in that fight. And Brewmaster running for his life as well. Will be put in ice path? No, he'll be fine. He'll be okay. He will get stunned though. Double stun. They can take Kabu here. Nice avalanche up on 3. Tiny doesn't want to stick around though. And he sees his Kabu dying. Luo blinks himself away. Actually gets sent back home by Kabu before he goes. Before he dies. Still might turn into a tier 3 tower.
Yeah, this should probably be the tower. This was not such a good fight from Rattlesnake. Actually, they're going
again. They're gonna go for KYXY. They take him down, or at least take his Aegis down. Luo, though, he has to run, but he goes down before he can. Darkseer will drop. Mushi in some trouble. Track kills, perhaps even more if they can. Mushi running for his life, but will end up going down. That's a Gem of True set on the floor. Ohio looking to pick it up, did do so on the run himself though, turns on his BKB. He doesn't have a time lapse, wants to take down something before he goes. He's no longer tracked. I will end up going down by the Rubik's Fate Bolt. And they still take down a Bounty Hunter at the back end as well. And that's going to be a Rubik dead. In comes more BKB heroes from the sidelines. They know that there's only a couple people left here. These are the last 2 alive for Orange, but apparently these 2 alone feel pretty confident that they can take him down. And perhaps they can lay down some harassment up on Luo here as well as he tries to run. He still has a blink though, he can blink away. But in comes Lanham. They want to try and take Ohio still. They still want to have that blink there, or that Gem of True Sight. But won't be able to get it. That's Lanham. What you doing there, buddy? Time lapse, Ohio. Looking to be safe. There goes the sentry ward. But it's already out of range. They have to be careful. They can't throw this. Yeah, they are going to be backing off. Thank you.
Yeah, that was really a series of really messy engagements. It feels like it was both sides kind of overextending. I mean, when Orange stuck around after they got a really good teamfight against Rattlesnake and tried to go for the tier 3 tower, it really looked like they could. But then the re-engagement by Rattlesnake was really nice. And then Rattlesnake in return just chased them down and overcommitted a bit, losing Bounty Hunter and the Wisp in the process, so both sides kind of overextending here and there, but overall I still think it's not too bad for Rattlesnakes. They do get a few track kills on the supports, and they do get a farm on Tiny. Tiny didn't die, so this is the most important part for them. He's going to get an AC, and once that is up, it's going to be a lot easier to take down the Alchemist. But now, as I said, that Alchemist is going for the AC as well.
Yeah, and there actually Orange is gonna go again. Do have KY Expi? I mean, he is pretty nice, too nice in terms of items. I mean, as you said, going to the Assault Caress. But in terms of net worth, the Tiny is actually slightly ahead of him now. It's really a little amount, but that's not something that's normal, because Tiny doesn't have Grievel's Grief. But let's see how much they can get here with the tower. It looks like they will be able to take it down. Yeah, no fortification there, and that shows. And Rattlesnake, actually, they don't want to fight this. You don't want to trade tier 2s for tier 3s. It comes a clap, it comes a split. Mushi in some trouble. We still have Alchemist bashing though, and gets the racks down as well. Vacuum there. Sagam trouble. Sagam dead. Ice Path up on Lanham, looking for a target, but he can't find one at the moment. Goes for the Rubik. Avalanche misses. Shuriken Toss comes in. Icy comes in as well. That's gonna be a kill. Rubik dead. Chen also dead on the other side though. Ohio looking for his next target. Finds himself a Brewmaster. Brewling takes it down. Looking for Lanham, as a Brewmaster himself is back to himself as well, right? Yeah. He's just looking for a way out. But this is only one hero dead. In comes a clap again. In comes the Avalanche again. But the Ice Path and the Vacuum are there as well. Dual Breath as well. Luo and Lanham in trouble. One dead. The other one on the run. But getting chased down. Dust gets used. But oh my god, again. Ohio gets it with the Swarm. He gets another kill though. That's a double. As Sagam goes down for the second time this fight. Ohio will pay for it. But they still lost their racks. In the meantime, KWXpy is looking for Icy. They do have that gem, but he ends up stunning himself. Ice Path misses. Icy still running. I think you should know that there is indeed a... Oh, actually, Mushi is gonna go down. Should be going down. Gets searched. Get tossed. Lanham comes in to take the kill. In comes a stun. In comes KYXpy. Lanham, who just bought back, dies again to the hero he just bought back to kill. As Ohio also bought back because it's buyback central.
Yeah, speaking of buyback central, there goes Mushi.
Yep.
Yeah, this is not looking good for Rattlesnake. Looking at the golden experience graph, they just lost so much. They lost Rax, they lost basically every hero on their team. Lanham, as you mentioned, had to buy back. That's a lot of gold. And they're now going to lose a tier 2 tower top, so actually, yeah, there it is. And they might even force the top lane, or at least do some serious damage until Lanham comes back. Was a really good fight for Orange. It feels like Rattlesnake, they should have reacted earlier. I mean, the Tiny Wisp, they waited really long until they relocated. Yeah. They took the tier 2 bottom and they just waited too long.
I agree. And what's to stop Orange now from trying to do it all over again? I mean, it was worthy for them once and they got the Rex. Even if they didn't, you know, own the fight completely, it still went their way in terms of advantages, and they'll just look to take it again as KWXpy looks for a target to throw a stun at. Finds it up on Luo. Luo does have a split. But the Ice Path is there. Can they take him down beforehand? No, he doesn't. He gets sent back home, though. The Brewlings are in the base. And that's a lot of time wasted. That's Orange dodging the Brew split. Poor Cobb. Yeah. We thought he was doing the right thing. Can't really fault him for that.
Yeah, really. I mean, it was really unfortunate. Just bad timing or bad communication. But overall, this was really nice for Orange. They dodged the Brewmaster ultimate once more. And I think, knowing that this is down, they can just go back in, because this is really a big part of Rattlesnake's team fight.
Yeah. Now they only have, they do have Lanham back, of course, but that's kind of the only thing they have in terms of team fight. And he's, KWXpy is just gonna turn on his BKB and hit on the racks, throw out his stun at Lanham. Tries to dodge it with the Manta Style, doesn't work though. Vacuum into the Ice Path again. Can they take down someone else? Icy will be the one to drop. Gem on the floor, doesn't really matter, nobody cares. They want to try and look and take a kill. But here comes Lanham again on the Ice Path. Telekinesis will hold him in place, and that is Tiny dead, and that's the GG called. This was of course only game number 1 of this best of 3. They're fighting for a place in the finals for the AMD Premier League. These are then of course the semi-finals. Best out of 3s, Orange versus Rattlesnake. And we'll see a second game to see if Rattlesnake can force out a third game, or if Orange is gonna take a 2-0.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next game, because this was a really interesting game and a really good game as well. I think both teams played quite good. I think there were a few mistakes on Rattlesnake's side here and there, but overall it's still a good performance on both sides.
Yeah, and one of the things though is of course that with picking up a Chen and IO so fast, so early, as Oranges knows what you're going to be up to. So they were able to react to it. We're going to see if the draft is going to be a little bit less explanatory at the start. So stick around. We'll be right back with the second game of the series.